All right, welcome back to week number 4 of our Faith Hall of Fame. We have a special guest, Addison Selby, our daughter. She is going to be helping us with our game. It's called Guess That Object. It's pretty much a box game.
Or what's in the box.
What's in the box? There you go. I don't know why I said guess that object. We're going to play what's in the box. So maybe if you want to hit the pause button and grab a box, all we did was cut out the front, cut a little hole for the hand to go in. And I'm going to get some random objects and push and put in the box. And she's going to stick her hand in there without looking and try to guess what she is touching without looking. All right. So Addison, when I put it in there, you got to close your eyes or something, okay? Or look at me. All right. So you try to guess what's in the box. So if you're ready at home, grab some random stuff in a box and we will be playing. All right, Addison, ready for your first one? All right. Close your eyes. Let's see if she can guess what's in the box. Put your hand in there.
All right, go on.
Feel around.
Don't take it out. Just feel it.
Feel around. All right, can you guess what it is? No,
Don't look.
Don't look, sweetie. Don't look. I think she might have saw it.
She said a slinky.
She got it. All right.
She
All right.
looks.
All right. Okay, cool. Let me see that one.
Okay, well,
All
you
right,
can keep it when we're all done, okay?
All right, close your eyes and look at me. We can do it. Close your eyes now. All right. All right. Here is the second one.
I don't even know if I know what that is.
All right.
All right.
No. Keep your eyes closed.
What do you think?
What do you think it is? A what? A lovey.
She said a lovey. What kind of lovey? What kind of animal? She's saying, I don't know. I don't know.
Stuffed animal. I think I say we'll give it to her. A stuffed animal. You got it right.
It's a squirrel.
It's a squirrel. A flying squirrel. All right. Are you ready for another one? I just ready for the next one. All right.
All right.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes. All right. I'm gonna help you. Mommy's gonna keep your eyes closed. Okay. All right.
All right.
What's in the box? Close your eyes. Close
You
your
can't
eyes.
look. What do you think it is? What kind of
animal?
animal? She's saying, I don't know. And then
So animal. She's.
I don't think you quite got it. You want to feel a little bit more?
Feel a little more. Feel a little more. Don't take it out, sweetie.
She's solid. What is it?
Beetle, like a Japanese beetle. All right, we got one more. I think you'll get this one. Pretty easy.
All right, close your eyes.
Close your eyes. All right, let's see if she can guess this. All right.
All right, keep your eyes closed. She
car.
said a car.
So awesome. Now that we have guess what's in the box, you can get random items just like we did. And maybe your your small sister or little brother to help play. And you can make it a competition. You can get random stuff around the house. You can get maybe some gross slimy stuff, some sticky stuff. If you have a pet hamster, a pet hamster in there, I don't know. Be creative with this awesome game. So thank you for playing with us, and thank you, Addison, for being a part of it.
Yeah, you couldn't hear her because she doesn't have a mic set up so you can hear her. So we did the talking for her. But she got to enjoy, and you guys got to see her and her awesome new glasses to help her see.
Correct. Yes.
She's grown a lot.
Awesome. All right. So we are going to be doing going into our Bible lesson. All right. We hope you liked that game as much as Addison did on trying to figure out what the object was. She did pretty well, I think.
She did amazing.
Yes. All right. Now we are getting ready to go into our Bible lesson on Moses and the Exodus, and we want to thank Saddleback Kids again for allowing us to watch the video.
Yes, a big shout out to them. We're so thankful that they allowed us. And then after the video, we'll be back to talk a little bit about Moses some more and how he had an unbelievable amount of faith.
Correct.
The Faithful Hall of Fame, Moses. This is Moses, who was an Israelite born in Egypt in a time when Israelite boys were not supposed to live.
Wait, huh?
Moses, however, grew up in the palace of the Pharaoh, the very man who was enslaving the Israelite people. When Moses grew up, he made a big mistake.
Uh-oh.
So Moses ran away from Egypt
Wow!
to the land of Midian. After many years, an angel of the Lord appeared to Moses and told him to go back to Egypt to free the Israelites. After much protesting, God granted Moses his brother Aaron to speak on his behalf. So Moses went to Egypt. And on his way there, he met Aaron, who was ready to do whatever God wanted him to do. The Israelites were slaves to the Egyptians, but God had a special plan for Moses.
Hey, everyone,
After rallying God's people to them, Moses and Aaron went to the Pharaoh. And said, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, has said. Let my people go." And Pharaoh made the Israelites work harder because of this.
Huh?
The foremen of the Israelite slaves were angry with Moses and Aaron for causing this trouble. So Moses cried out to God and asked why this was happening. But God said, "You will see what I will do. I am the Lord. I will deliver you from slavery."
Wow, okay. Hey!
Moses told this to the people,
Hey!
but they were so discouraged that they didn't listen to him. God told Moses to go to Pharaoh and to do exactly as he said. So Moses and Aaron went to the Pharaoh. God told them to take the staff and throw it down before Pharaoh. Pharaoh was not impressed. He called his wise men and sorcerers, and they did the same thing. But Aaron's staff swallowed up the sorcerer's staff. Yet Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he would not listen to them. Just as God had said. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Go to the banks of the Nile River and meet Pharaoh."
Hey, Pharaoh!
Moses and Aaron did just as God had said. But again, Pharaoh's magicians did the same miracle, and Pharaoh refused to let God's people go. So God sent 9 more plagues to Egypt to show his power. Even with all the suffering, Pharaoh's heart stayed hard, and he would not let the people go. On the night of the last plague, Pharaoh woke up and heard a great cry in Egypt. For there was not a house in Egypt where someone was not dead. Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron and told them to be gone with the Israelites. So the Israelites left Egypt immediately and made their way to the Promised Land, taking with them many riches from Egypt, and they took Joseph's bones as they had promised him many years before. But after they had gone, Pharaoh changed his mind and readied his army to take back the Israelites. When the Israelites saw Pharaoh and his armies come, they were terrified. But God made a way for them. Through all of this, the Israelites saw the great power of their God, the one true God, and they put their trust in Moses, his servant.
Wow, that was an amazing story on Moses. I mean, that was a man who had great faith.
I mean, you have to think, every time God told him that he was supposed to go to Pharaoh to get the people gone, and he had to go 10 times.
10 times.
And then even after that, they finally get to leave, and they're on their way out, and guess who comes storming after them?
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh did. And Moses had faith to believe that God was going to do what he said he was going to do the entire time.
Even the people that were with him were probably like, man, we are never going to be able to get out of this. I mean, it seemed like every time he went to Pharaoh, he would make him work even harder. But Moses had great faith. He knew because God told him that he will let his people go.
And I can't imagine the faith he had, because every time he went to Pharaoh, he foretold and told him what was going to happen next. That took unbelievable faith, because he listened to God, knew what was going to happen, and then had to say it and then wait for it to come to pass, because it didn't happen at that instant. That is an unbelievable amount of faith to know, when I say something, God gave it to me, I'm going to say it, and it's going to happen.
Correct. And I like how Moses showed, he would have had a little bit of fear, but it seemed like to me in that story, he didn't even show any signs of fear of being able to go to this high ruler, this high king, and tell him what was going to happen. And if he didn't do it, these bad things are going to happen too. He had to have had great faith. He had to be sure that it was directly from God, which it was, which I'm amazed that he just had that faith even when no one else could see it. He still went to Pharaoh and told him, you need to let my people go, let God's people go. And at the end, he did. But on the very last thing, what happened? Remember, he had his staff and those people were coming after him? Mm-hmm. And Moses had enough faith that knowing that God was going to get him out of that situation, he wouldn't have got him that far and failed on him. And what did he do?
Stuck his staff in the water.
Stuck his staff in the water and parted the Red Sea so they could get to safety. What an amazing amount of faith.
Yes.
I kind of wish I had that faith, but sometimes it can be kind of shaky.
It can be shaky at sometimes, and that is why it's so important that we be praying and reading and staying in God's word, because that's how we get that unbelievable faith. We stay in touch with God, and I think that's something that Moses did. He was always in touch with God and knew exactly what was going to happen next. So if we want unbelievable faith like Moses, we have to do those same steps and stay in touch with God always through prayer and reading our Bibles and hanging out with other people who know it, because sometimes God can use other people to reveal what he needs us to do.
Correct, yes. And like Pastor Amanda said, reading your Bible is an important thing on making sure we hear from God, and that we can keep that same faith. And speaking of reading a Bible, we're going to go over our Bible verse. It's still from the same chapter, the same verse. So if you think you know it, why don't you go ahead and put that in the comment box. See if maybe you're the first one to comment stating that I know it. I know exactly where they're going to get this Bible verse from. All right, it is going to be from Matthew chapter 21, verse 22, and it says, "And whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith." There goes that word again, faith. Whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you'll have it if you have faith. Moses had lots of faith.
Let's also not forget about those Israelites, because sometimes we focus so much on Moses that we forget the Israelites had been praying and seeking God and asking them for deliverance for forever, for such a long time. And they had to hold on to that faith and believed that their prayer was eventually going to be answered. And it was. God sent Moses to them and rescued them and got them out of that situation.
Correct. Even though when they thought maybe it looked a little dim, Moses had that faith, and Moses was that great example for them, for the ones that were kind of doubting God and doubting that, oh my gosh, is he ever going to get us out of here? But Moses had that faith. And me and you and Pastor May, we need to strive to be the Moses to our friends. You know, maybe friends are struggling or something like that, and they're thinking, you know, does God really exist? Why do you go to church? But maybe you can be that Moses. You can be that influence that they have. So we have an awesome object lesson to help us tie it in, to help us better understand about our faith with God.
You will not believe what we are able to do with some water, pepper, and some soap. So stay tuned to make sure you see this awesome Bible object lesson. You don't want to miss it.
Correct. Yeah, we're going to have to change the camera so you can see the object lesson and instead of us.
Okay, guys, welcome back. We have a cool object lesson for you that involves some water, some pepper, and some soap. Okay, and it goes along with our Bible story because when Moses and them got to the Red Sea, they started having all of these problems start to pile up around them. They thought they were going away. They thought they were getting ready to escape. They thought they were good. And long and behold, they turn around and they see Pharaoh's army coming at them. And they didn't know what to do. And at that last moment, they really had to hold on strongly to that faith that God could provide for them. Because the reality of it is, in that moment, they were stuck. There was nothing they could do but to rely on God and trust that he was going to deliver them. So we have all of our problems here, our water, it's floating there, just like with the Israelites and the Egyptians taken out from them. And then we have God and God's power. And the thing is, God has an unbelievably, I can't get it out on my finger. Well, we'll do it this way. God has an unbelievably amount of power. We know he is powerful. We know he's all powerful. We know he can do anything, but we have to hold on to that faith. And without God's power, nothing's going to happen. So if I attempt to do something by myself and not having the faith to believe that God's power is there, nothing is really going to happen. But when I have faith and believe that God's power is with me to help me all the way, miraculously, he steps in and everything begins to part and separate. And he makes a way when I feel like I can't make it on my own. So just remember that just like with this, when you have faith, you have to rely on God's power to get you through it and to continue to remain strong and believe in him.
All right, that was an amazing object lesson that Pastor Amanda did, wasn't it?
Thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And now that we're here, I just want to make sure everybody understood that the water is our life, the pepper is our problem, and the soap that I put on my finger represented God's power.
Correct, yes. And that was pretty powerful, what you did there on separating all that with God's power. I like how you put it in there with your finger without the soap, representing, us trying to do it on our own. I believe if Moses had tried to maybe get out of there on his own and try to gather up everybody on his own and try to escape Pharaoh on his own, I don't think it would have worked too well, would it?
No, I don't think it would have.
No, I think it would have probably ended disastrous. I mean, I don't know what would have happened. But I thank God that Moses had that faith and he heard from God. And they were finally be able to be rescued from the hands of Pharaoh because he had great faith, even when no one else around him did. So we are going to take this part and close in prayer. Again, in the comment box, use that comment box like you would if you were using the prayer wall here in Children's Church. We normally would take the sticky note. We would write the prayer note. The prayer request on the sticky note, and then you would put it up on the prayer wall. we'll have to do it through the comment box on YouTube or Facebook. So if you could write your prayer request on there again, if you don't want anybody else to know it, you could just say pray for me, or just private message Pastor Amanda and I, and we'll be happy to pray for you.
We'll also make sure we get back in touch with you so you know that we prayed for you.
Correct. Yes, and we're going to be chatting with you on the comment section if you are chatting with us during this time. So we're going to take this time to just get your prayer requests, and if you want to start putting your prayer request in there, you can. Just believe that God will answer you. God will hear our prayers, not only hear us, but He'll answer them as well, just like He answers everybody else in the Bible. You know, all the faith heroes in the Bible, He answers us, whether the answer we like it or not. But either way, He answers us, and it's best. The answer He gives us is what's best for us. Maybe not what we want to do, but we need to have that faith that He's going to take control of whatever is in our situation. So let's pray. Dear God, I just thank you for God for the faith that maybe you have started to give us during this series, God. In these past 3 or 4 Sundays, God, I pray that our faith has grown maybe just a little bit. God, I pray if we're still struggling, the ones maybe are still struggling with that big faith, God, I pray that you would just help them out as they are going through their situation. God, give us the faith that you gave Moses, God. Even the ones that are around us maybe saying one thing and you believe God is telling you to do another. God, I pray that you would just give them the faith, Lord, to be able to just listen to you and do what you would want them to do, God. God, I pray for everybody watching this, God, this week. I pray that you would give them great faith in what they are going through. And even when it doesn't look so good, God, I pray that you would just give them the faith, God, that they need to let them know that you are in control and you are going to take care of the situation. God, I thank you for everyone watching this. You would watch over them, keep them safe, and have a great day. Amen.
Man, we'll see you next week. We're excited. We're going to be on our 5th and last week of Faith Hall of Fame. We will be continuing on later on, but we're starting with a new series. And next week is really cool because it's all about Rahab. And I like her. I think she's a unique person in the Bible.
The spies. All right.
Stay tuned next week. We look forward to seeing you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.